what's funny? Most people think they have money problems, but what they really have is a consciousness problem. And I'm not talking about some woo-woo nonsense here. I'm talking about the very real, very measurable difference between people who seem to attract money effortlessly and those who work themselves to the bone and still can't get ahead. And here's the kicker. It has almost nothing to do with how hard you work, how smart you are, or even how much money you started with. It has everything to do with what's happening between your ears. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, thinking this is going to be another one of those just think positive thoughts and money will rain from the sky kind of talks, let me stop you right there. I've seen people affirm themselves into bankruptcy. I've watched folks visualize their way into debt. Because here's what nobody tells you. There are 3 distinct levels of money consciousness. And if you're operating on level 1 while trying to use level 3 strategies, you're basically trying to run before you can crawl. And we all know how that ends. Usually face first on the pavement. I get it. You're tired. You've read the books. You've watched the videos. You've tried the budgets and the side hustles and the affirmations. You've told yourself you're abundant until you're blue in the face, but your bank account didn't get the memo. And then you feel like a failure because it works for everyone else, right? Wrong. It doesn't work for everyone else. They're just not posting their credit card statements on social media. But here's what I want you to understand. You're not broken, you're not cursed, and you're not bad with money. You're just operating from the wrong level of consciousness for where you are right now. So let me paint you a picture. Imagine 3 people walking down the same street. Same street, same day, same opportunities floating around in the ether. The first person sees a penny on the ground and thinks, great, 1 more cent I don't have to earn. The second person sees the same penny and thinks, a penny? What's a penny going to do for me? And walks right past it. The third person sees the penny and thinks, oh look, the universe is confirming that money flows to me easily. 3 different people. 3 wildly different money consciousnesses. 3 completely different financial futures. Now, you might be thinking, but it's just a penny. And that's exactly my point. It's never about the penny. It's about what the penny represents in your mind. It's about the story you tell yourself about money, about what you deserve, about how money comes, about what it means, and about your relationship to it. And let me tell you, most of us have been in some seriously dysfunctional relationships with money, the kind where we'd be better off seeing a therapist than a financial advisor. Here's where it gets really interesting. These 3 levels of money consciousness aren't random. They're not personality types. They're actually stages of development. And here's the beautiful part. You can move through them. You're not stuck. But you have to know where you are before you can figure out where you're going. It's like using a map. That little "you are here" dot isn't there to mock you. It's there to help you navigate. Let's talk about level 1. I call this the survival consciousness. If you're in level 1, money feels scary. It feels scarce. It feels like there's never enough. And you know what? For you, right now, there probably isn't. And I'm not going to gaslight you and tell you to just be grateful for what you have. When you're in survival mode, when you're choosing between paying the electric bill or buying groceries, gratitude lists feel like a slap in the face. At this level, every financial decision is a crisis. Money comes in, and it's already gone. There's no cushion, no buffer, no breathing room. You're playing financial whack-a-mole, and the moles are winning. But here's what's happening at the consciousness level, and this is crucial. When you're in survival consciousness, your brain is literally in fight or flight mode around money. Your nervous system is activated. You're making decisions from your amygdala, not your prefrontal cortex. And your amygdala? It's great at keeping you alive when you're being chased by a tiger, but it's terrible at making sound financial decisions. It's reactive, it's emotional, and it's focused entirely on right now, this minute, this crisis. There's no long-term thinking, because your brain doesn't think you have a long-term, and society doesn't help. We live in a world that tells people in survival consciousness to just budget better, save more, spend less, get another job. But you can't budget your way out of not having enough money. That's like telling someone to organize their empty refrigerator. Sure, the empty shelves will look neat, but you're still hungry. What people in survival consciousness need isn't better money management. What they need is more money coming in and a way to regulate their nervous system around money so they can start making decisions from clarity instead of panic. So if you're in level 1, here's what actually helps. First, you need income stabilization. However you can get it. Second job, side gig, asking for help, government assistance, whatever it takes. There's no shame in survival. Every successful person you admire has been in survival mode at some point. They just don't post about it on Instagram. Second, you need to start training your nervous system to feel safe around money, even in small doses. This might sound silly, but keep $1 in your wallet that you never spend. Just $1 that's always there. It starts to rewire your brain from there's never enough to there's always something. And third, you need to stop consuming level 3 content. If you're in survival consciousness and you're watching videos about manifesting millions or investing in cryptocurrency or building passive income empires, you're just going to feel worse about yourself. It's not bad content. It's just not for you right now. You don't need to learn how to fly a plane when you're still learning to drive a car. Now, level 2. This is what I call security consciousness. This is where most people live. And honestly, it's not a bad place to be. If you're in level 2, you have enough. The bills get paid. There's a little bit in savings. You're not rich, but you're not panicking. Money isn't fun, but it's not terrifying either. It's just this thing you have to manage like laundry or email. It's a chore, but it's a doable chore. The defining feature of security consciousness is that money feels finite. There's a pie, and you have your slice, and you're very protective of your slice because if you lose it, you're back in survival, and you remember how that felt. People in security consciousness are savers. They're budgeters. They clip coupons, not because they have to, but because it feels responsible. They have a scarcity hangover from level 1, even if they've never personally been in level 1. Maybe they grew up watching their parents struggle, or maybe they've just absorbed the cultural message that money is scarce and you better hold on tight to what you've got. The problem with security consciousness isn't that it's wrong, it's that it caps you. There's a ceiling here. You can be comfortable in level 2, but you can't be wealthy. Because wealth requires risk, and risk requires trust. And security consciousness is built on the foundation of not trusting that there will be more. People in security consciousness will stay in jobs they hate because the paycheck is reliable. They'll avoid opportunities because they might lose what they have. They'll undercharge for their services because they don't want to seem greedy. They'll save, but never invest because investing feels dangerous. Here's the thing about level 2. You have enough resources to move to level 3, but you don't have the consciousness yet. It's like having a sports car but only driving it in first gear because second gear seems reckless. The shift from level 2 to level 3 isn't about getting more money. It's about changing your relationship with money. It's about moving from, I have enough and I need to protect it, to there's more where this came from. And this is where people get tripped up. They try to jump from security consciousness to abundance consciousness by just affirming abundance. But your nervous system knows you don't believe it. You can say, I am abundant all day long, but if you're still checking your bank account 5 times a day and panicking when an unexpected expense comes up, your subconscious isn't buying what you're selling. The shift has to happen at a deeper level. So how do you move from level 2 to level 3? You start taking calculated risks. And I mean calculated. This isn't about being reckless. This is about proving to yourself that there is more where this came from. Invest a little bit of money in yourself. Take that course. Hire that coach. Start that business. Raise your prices. And when it works, when you invest and it comes back multiplied, your brain starts to rewrite the story. You start to trust, not blindly, but based on evidence that you're gathering yourself. You also have to start examining the beliefs that keep you in security consciousness. Where did you learn that money is scarce? Who taught you that wanting more is greedy? What would happen if you let yourself want more? What are you afraid of? because I guarantee there's fear under that security blanket. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of losing what you have, fear of becoming someone you don't recognize. And until you look at those fears, you'll stay right where you are, safe and stuck. Level 3 is abundance consciousness. This is where things get fun. In abundance consciousness, money is a game, and it's a game you know how to play. Money flows. It comes, it goes, it comes back, and you trust the flow. There's no hoarding, no panicking, no white-knuckling your budget. You spend freely on what matters, you invest confidently, you give generously, and somehow there's always more. People in abundance consciousness aren't necessarily millionaires, although many of them are. But wealth isn't about the number in the bank account. It's about the relationship with money. People in level 3 understand something that people in level 1 and 2 don't. Money is energy. It's a tool. It's a means of exchange. It's not good or evil. It's not scarce or abundant. It's neutral, and it responds to how you think about it and treat it. If you treat money like a trusted friend who's always there when you need them, it shows up like that. If you treat money like an unreliable flake who might abandon you at any moment, well, that's the experience you create. Here's what abundance consciousness looks like in practice. You get an unexpected bill, and instead of spiraling into panic, you think, okay, how does the money for this come? And then you stay open and watchful, and somehow it does. You get a refund you forgot about. A client pays early. Someone pays back a loan. You find money in an old coat pocket. It sounds magical, and honestly, sometimes it feels magical, but it's not magic. It's awareness. When you're not in panic mode, you notice opportunities you would have missed. You say yes to things you would have said no to. You're creative instead of reactive. You're expansive instead of contractive. People in abundance consciousness also understand the principle of circulation. Money is currency. It has to flow. Hoarding money is like hoarding water.